Good to see you.
Yeah.
Shoes are great.
Thank you.
Now you're back in the playoffs after a couple years. After an 82-game season, that's long. How excited are you personally to be back?
Personally, I'm very excited. I haven't played playoff basketball in quite some time. I feel like 3 seasons ago. I got my blood boiling a little bit. The practice today felt like a playoff practice. It was a very mental practice. Less playing against each other, but more mental. Just following personnel of the Houston Rockets and just embracing everything that's going on. The terminology, talking, meeting up, splitting up in different groups, and just dissecting everything.
What makes Houston such a great offensive rebounding team, and how important is that for this series?
They're super athletic, and physical as well. I think Houston's, since I've been in the league, Houston's always been a team where everybody is sending 5 at the glass, and they're pretty physical when it comes to that, and that's how they get their rhythm going, and extra possessions, and that's what drives their team, and we got to match that.
A little more than a month ago, you said your energy and focus had caught up with the rest of the team. How do you feel like your energy and focus has been this last month heading into the postseason?
You tell me.
No, we want to hear from you, though.
Y'all tell me. I like when you guys
we don't have any answers here.
I don't got no answers neither. Cause I'm still going, so y'all have to tell me.
Or I'll rephrase the question then. How did it feel to kind of get a 20-point game going into the postseason with the Utah game the other day, and how does a positive performance like that help situate yourself going into a postseason where you are going to be relied upon for scoring at times?
Well, Utah Jazz is in the Houston Rockets. So, me honestly, I'm glad I got some rep in where I can, be out there and prolong just to get some flow going, before we, had this long break. I would appreciate JJ, keeping me out there, just making sure I work on my endurance and just keep my conditioning high, and that was about it. Confidence going in is where it's coming in practice, where we're competing against each other and just staying on top of things.
I think you played a career high 72 games this season. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Proud of that, huh?
Stappy
Yeah, I'm
T.
pretty proud of that.
Stappy T.
Hey, season, did 72 games. I needed that. I don't know when the last time I played 72 games. Probably a rookie DA.
It was 70.
Oh,
I think it was early in your career.
Yeah,
You're an old man now.
Yeah, and I did that. I was very happy. I'm feeling good.
How would you evaluate the season for you based on those 72 games?
Yeah, I was challenged, a lot this season, and I feel like I embraced everything that was thrown at me. It took some time, but I eventually, got a control of everything, and I think I got a hang of it, and I like it. I got guys on the team that helped me embrace everything that's going on, and just things we have going with the dilemmas and the injuries. I feel like we've been through this the whole year. Just guys going out and guys having big games, and we're the team where you don't know who's gonna have the 30 points or this or that. We're just gonna play hard and just play together. And I've been here before where we've been the underdog, and you gotta stick together and let defense win games.
DA, being back in the playoffs, what do you want to prove this postseason?
That I truly am I love playing this game, and I take a great passion to playing on both ends of the floor. I still believe just being a two-way player in this league, that's truly my second nature, and that's how I want to be noted as in this league. It's just being an all-around two-way superstar. Just taking passion on both ends of the floor. I can play hard on offense, I can play hard on the defense. So that's just really my goal. Running the floor always and closing out possession with rebounds and protecting the rim. So just trying to enhance everything I can, coming into this playoffs.
Can it be hard for you at times to recognize in the moment, I need to be playing harder, like my energy isn't where it needs to be, just like in real time?
What, judging myself right now and just...
No, in a game, like in that moment, like the idea you just said before, proving that you can be that type of player, that type of energy level.
Yeah, I've shown it, so it's just me accepting the role I'm in and playing hard as hell in that role. That's about it every night.
DA, the Lakers won the series against the Rockets 2-1, but obviously the personnel's changed a lot. What's the biggest challenge in beating this team now, but without Luka and Austin available?
You have to match their energy on crashing the glass. They put a lot of extra energy in sending 5 at the rim, and I think that's where they try to play a little bit of a bully ball and set the tone of you know, how the games is going to go, and mucky, and just, you know, winning 50 chance balls and stuff like that. So if we can match that, I think, you know, we'll have a good chance of just, you know, having a good game and competing against them.
Is
Hey, Dia.
matching that just hard? That effort?
I mean, it's playoffs. I mean, it's the postseason. You know, it's called mano against Imano, and it's not always X's and O's. You got to stop the man and guard your yard. So that's about it.
Hey,
You
Dia.
know, right is hard.
Sorry. Good to see you. At your intro press conference, you're talking about your excitement level about playing with Luka and LeBron. How have they impacted your game this season?
Well, they made a lot of things easy. I can tell you that. I've gotten some easy buckets, you know, throughout this season. You know, just being under the basket and, you know, them generating as much offense as they do, and, you know, just finishing baskets. But you know, their aura as well. You know, on and off the court, how they approach the game, and, you know, just being contagious as well, taking care of yourself, and, you know, just being ready. You know, playing with them is like having a bunch of cameras in front of you all the time because, you know, they are who they are.
At that intro presser, you were wearing all black like you are today. You know, a little suit back then, but months ago, and a lot of work, and you said challenges since then. But the payoff is to be able to play in the playoffs. How are you looking forward to the curtain coming down on opening night of the playoffs on Saturday in LA?
Yeah, it's almost speechless, especially being on this side of town now. You know, playing in LA when I was on the other side, this place can get, you know, pretty loud. And, you know, I'm still, you know, trying to just go home and embrace everything. You know, I know it haven't ramped up yet, but, you know, coming out of these practices, you know, it's, you know, JJ, you know, give you so much, and, you know, you have to dissect it sometimes. And, you know, you're thinking about the environment, you think about the fans, thinking about the first game as a Laker in the playoffs. So, you know, I just try to find some time to, you know, catch myself and gather and, you know, just relax. You know, I've been here before, but I am truly excited. I want to do backflips. You know, I'm in the purple and gold, and I just want to really just play hard as hell and contribute to wins.
Yeah. What have you made this year of JJ and the staff when it comes to game plan adjustments and game plan stuff? And have you mentioned a little bit, like, what's it been like as you guys have tried to, like, start to, like, solve this puzzle?
I really like JJ and his team, man. Our coaching staff, I look up to them. You know, they're like their brother's keeper. You know, I explained to them, you know, they're the first set of coaches really that I see that has this. You know, they're really tight. You know, they don't leave no man on the island like how you would have your guys out there in the first five. Like, you know, you're seeing somebody getting ISO, and you don't want to leave them on the island in your shifts, and that's how they are too with coverages and, you know, just adapting to how teams attacking us in mid-game and the intensity. You know, you love it, and they match our energy too when games are lit and the crowd is into it. You know, them dudes just fire it up, and I just love how they are on defense. You know, we switch up a lot of coverages, and they believe in us. So, yeah, I love it.
When the full
Last one.
first round schedule comes out like it did last night, is that something you pay attention to or even look at?
What? The schedule?
Yeah, the schedule.
Oh,
for you.
most definitely. You know, just seeing what days are available, you know, getting extra work in. What's the practice like? When do I have a free day for myself? You know, things like that. So I'm always looking at the schedule.
Just to follow up on that quickly, obviously JJ told us yesterday that Luka and Austin are out indefinitely, but when you see you guys have more time in between things, games 1 and 2 and then 2 and 3, does that provide, even for the players, just optimism for what that could do for them and possibly?
Yeah, that's why the playoffs are so hard. You know, we play these hard games, but we got enough time to rest up and rejuvenate ourselves to play hard again. You know, that's why they're so tough to, you know, win games in the playoffs, because, you know, we're all alphas and we're ready to go 110% every game. It's gonna be fun.
Thanks, Dia.
Thank you.